everybody, how's it going? My name is Sahil. I'm the CEO of AdStage, and I'm here with my co-founder Jason to tell you a little bit more about our business. So we actually launched last year on stage at the launch conference, and we launched our first product called AdStage Express, which allowed you to simultaneously build campaigns across multiple ad networks very, very quickly. So today we're super excited to be back to show off our new platform product as well as our integrated app system. So our story starts out very similar to what it was last year. 5 years ago, all online advertisers really had to worry about was Google AdWords. But now there's Google, Facebook, Bing, LinkedIn, so many networks that figuring out where to advertise and how much to spend is really difficult. Today, to manage these campaigns, you can either do it yourself, you can hire an agency, or you can use bulky enterprise tools with huge minimum ad spend requirements. And unfortunately, a lot of them are really just agencies masquerading as tech companies. So that's why we set out to build AdStage, which is a simple, self-serve, cross-network ad platform from which you can build, deploy, and manage your ad campaigns across multiple ad networks from a single place. So let's dive right into the product and show you how an online advertiser would use it. In this case, our online advertiser is Jason, and he's advertising for AdStage. So the first step is really simple. He links his various ad accounts across Google, Bing, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Once he does this, AdStage actually starts importing all of his data under one roof. So if you have 100 campaigns running today, no problem, we import all of those campaigns into our platform. Next, he sets up his advertising profile. Here he puts in some basic information about himself, his company, like his URL, a brief blurb about the company, and a minimum of about maybe 10 keywords or so. We take this information, send it off to our backend where we've indexed data on about 1.6 million companies, and we basically try to find companies similar to Jason's. So in this case, find companies similar to AdStage. When we do this, we can actually show him interesting insights and recommendations throughout the product to make his life a little bit easier. And we'll show you more of these a little later. So once he's finished with linking his accounts and all his data has been imported, we take him to our global dashboard. So on the global dashboard, it's kind of your high-level dash. You're not going to make a lot of changes here or manage your campaigns, but this is where you can see how you're doing kind of comparatively to all the different networks. Now, before we dive down the page, you can do things, a couple things we can point out. So he can change the date upon which he's looking at his data. He can turn some networks on and off so that he can segment the data. And he can even actually pull reports. So as an advertiser, he has a simple report button that you can see in the top right corner. And if he were to pop that open, he can actually pull a quick snapshot of the page, send it to his boss, to his colleagues, so on and so forth. And of course, he can create new campaigns across all 4 networks. Now, as he goes further down the page, you see your standard metrics, right? Your standard visualizations, like his line graphs. He sees a compare metrics graph where he can compare 2 different metrics, and he has his standard tables. So one thing to note here that we're really focused on at AdStage is we kind of believe in education over algorithms. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of ad tech companies today that focus on building the world's best bid optimization algorithm, right? And so what we've done is we've spent our time instead integrating education throughout the product. And the reason why is because we fundamentally believe if we can make online advertisers better at advertising, if we can teach them new things, that's going to provide a higher amount of lift in their campaign performance than any incremental bid optimization algorithm could do. So for example, Jason can hover over the CTR column, and it doesn't just say, hey, CTR is click-through rate. It says CTR is click-through rate, which is clicks divided by impressions. And by the way, if you need help improving your CTR, click here to see 5 tips on creating effective ads. We have this kind of education scattered throughout the entire product, and we're really excited to see how advertisers utilize it to improve their campaign performance. So further down the global dashboard, Jason sees things like his top 10 performing ad campaigns across his accounts. He sees his budget versus his spend. And he even sees his top 10 performing ads from his different campaigns. In fact, he can pivot open those ads. He can see the ad copy on the left and the associated targeting on the right-hand side. Now, as mentioned, this is just his high-level dashboard. So let's see how he actually uses the platform to manage various campaigns. So he's going to go to his Campaign and Folders tab. On the left-hand side, you can see all the campaigns listed in a simple list. We try to make navigation within the AdStage platform very quick because the idea is to jump around from campaign to campaign and make changes quickly. In the center, he sees all of his campaigns and the associated metrics. Now, one other cool thing that we've done here is we've created something called folders. So if you have 10 campaigns running today against, let's say they're all targeted towards New York, and they can be from the same network or multiple networks, you can actually drop them into a folder. And what we'll do is we'll actually create a folder-level dashboard for you that reports just on those campaigns in that given folder, right? And so from there, I guess some of you are probably wondering, well, hold on, these networks aren't all the same. Some are social, they have different ad types, they have different metrics. How do we showcase the individuality of each of these different networks? So to demonstrate this, Jason is actually going to dive into his Facebook campaign called AdStage Website. Here he's now at a Facebook campaign level dashboard. So at the top, he has his scheduling, he has his budgeting as well. And as he scrolls down the page, he even starts seeing Facebook-specific metrics. So now he sees things like reach, frequency, social percentage, social clicks, mobile installs, and mobile engagements. All things that are only really Facebook-specific. And we have these kind of dashboards for all 4 networks. So a couple other things, though, is that Jason also sees, of course, his top performing ads for this given campaign, but his day-to-day activity is making changes to his ads, right? So let's jump into the ads tab. Here he sees the 4 ads that are in this campaign, and he can actually start making changes. So he notices per each ad, he can edit the ad, he can duplicate it, pause, delete. He even has the ability to take some power functions, so he can actually select 2 ads at once and change the targeting by bulk editing these ads. So these are little kind of power features we have tucked away throughout the product. So here he can actually add, let's say, India as one of his targeting parameters, and it'll save across both of these different ads at once. On the left-hand side, you'll also notice small light bulbs. So those are those insights and recommendations that we provide to Jason. So in this case, he can see the traffic coming to his site. So he can see that 15.7% of his traffic is coming from India, and that's why he's adding that as a targeting parameter. We also have actionable insights and recommendations. So for example, next to precise interests, by the way, are really similar to Google's keywords, and you use it for targeting your campaigns. So in this case, we actually generate some precise interest recommendations, and Jason can simply add them to his campaign by hitting apply. It's actually that simple. He hits save, it'll save across both of the ads. So that's your basic overview of campaign management within the AdStage platform. But one thing that we want to show you before we jump out of it is our global search. So again, like we said, we try to make it very quick for Jason to be able to jump into different campaigns. So right now he's going to use our global search, which actually searches across all your folders, your campaigns, your ads, and your keywords. And in this case, he's looking for his Google campaign called AdStage Branding. It takes a few seconds, and he's now in a Google campaign, and he can manage his Google campaign right from there. He, of course, has Google-specific tabs like ad extensions. He has display network and keywords. So there's a couple other tasks that Jason does day to day. And for any online advertiser, conversion tracking is super important. So let's jump to our goals tab. We actually support the native conversion tracking pixels for both Google and Facebook, and we've even built our own AdStage conversion tracking from scratch. And it works across all 4 networks. This is kind of important considering some of the networks today don't even have conversion tracking like LinkedIn. So you can actually feel free to use the AdStage conversion tracking pixel, which just adds a click ID, a small click or URL to the end of your URL destinations, and that's how we track your conversions. So a couple other things that an advertiser does today is reporting. The biggest pain I think all of our online advertisers will know about is how do I pull all these reports from these different networks and bring them under one roof? And you use a lot of Excel and things like that. And so what we've done is we've created a single page from which you can actually pull deep reports from every network and schedule these reports to send to you every week, every month, every day. So in this case, Jason's pulling a search query report on Google, and he can actually change the segmentation for this report, like device segmentation. He can change what kind of data he wants to look at in the columns, and he can schedule the report to send to himself, his boss, or his colleagues. He can even manage these scheduled reports from the Scheduled Reports tab. And here, he can even pull archive reports. So let's say you go into a meeting, and you want to pull a report for last month. You can actually just go into the archive, download it right to your desktop, and you're good to use the report. So let's end with what we're really excited about is our application infrastructure. So what we realized that a lot of online advertisers today, they don't just use one tool to get the job done. They use a suite of tools, right? They use things for landing page A/B testing, keyword discovery, image sourcing. So why not bring them all under one roof? And we could build all these tools ourselves, but there's already amazing companies building some of these solutions like Optimizely or Unbounce for landing page A/B testing, or Word Tracker for keyword discovery. So we'll build some apps ourselves, but let's also integrate some of these third parties. So today, you can actually use some of these third-party apps, Word Tracker, Optimizely, or Unbounce, and it's really easy. Jason can actually just hover over the Word Tracker app. He can launch it. He's looking for keyword ideas in this case. And he can actually just start searching various keywords and do the research right within the tool. Now, what's really cool about this tool is that our apps are actually contextually placed throughout the entire product. So when you're doing, let's say you're doing Google campaign creation, which is what Jason's showing you now, a little box will pop up and say, hey, do you need help discovering keywords? Try out this keyword discovery app, and it'll actually launch when it's contextually relevant to what you're doing. But we're really excited today to announce a new app that we've built, and it's called the Ad Scrambler. So last year, Robert Scoble on stage asked us if we're going to be able to ever do A/B testing of your ads. So this is our first swing at it. It's basically what it's called a multivariate ad copy generator, which is a fancy way of saying it creates all the possible combinations of ads, and it creates a lot of ads at once. So let's see how Jason uses it. So he launches the app, and we're going to show you how it works for Facebook. All he does is he types in an ad library name, so the name of the group of ads. He types in an ad name and chooses the ad type. So in this case, he's going to do, you guys have seen him on Facebook, the right-hand side ads. He's going to try creating a couple of those. So here, all he's doing is typing in multiple pieces of the ad. So he's putting in multiple destination URLs, multiple ad headlines, multiple descriptions. So in this case, he's doing 2 of each, and even multiple images. And what we'll do is we'll scramble all those pieces together. So we'll create all the possible combinations for that given ad. And in this case, we're going to create 16. So he hits done, and he can now show the variants that he's just created. So those are those 16 ads that he's now free to drop into any of his given Facebook campaigns. And he's now A/B testing. Really simple. So we're really excited to announce this new app. This is actually available to everybody using AdStage today. It just launched this morning. But let's tell you a little bit more about the business. So in the last few months, we've had over 6,000 beta signups. We're getting about 60 to 70 new signups every single week, and we're inviting about 50 to 60 new businesses into our beta every single day. In the last 4 weeks alone, after just having launched the platform product, we have over 1,100 ad accounts linked across the different networks. We have 8,600 active ad campaigns in our platform, and we have over $500,000 of active daily budget. So we have a couple happy customers, CoTap, New Relic. CoTap's actually sponsoring the event, so thank you, Jim. And we're really excited about the market. I think none of us here will really disagree that the online advertising market's big, right? By 2017, it's expected to grow to be $170 billion globally, right? But the thing that's happening is there's a growing number of networks. Fragmentation is continuing to happen. And so what we really want to do is be able to build that consolidated system for everybody to have one single workflow solution to manage these campaigns. And already today, 72% of businesses are using in-house tools for online marketing to help them and automate that process. So we obviously think there's a huge opportunity to be had here. So last year when we came on stage, we thought that we were going to charge a % of spend. That was our business model. But what we realized is it's not very transparent. A lot of agencies charge % of spend, and spend fluctuates every single month. So you don't know how much you're actually charging for a given tool. So we decided instead to do a simple SaaS subscription model. And you probably think we're crazy. You're not going to create a billion-dollar business charging $99 a month. We know, we promise you. What we're going to do is we're just charging that for our beta period, which is just the next 3 to 4 months. And the reason why is, look, every single startup changes their pricing at least once, right? So why not take advantage of that? Why not realize that, charge something that's not price prohibitive, and just see how our users actually use the product? Today, a marketing manager can come and sign up for our tool, and at $99 a month, they don't have to ask for approval. So this way they can sign up, we can do a massive land grab and get a lot of users in our product, showing us how they want to use it, what features they like, and then we can charge appropriately. But the big vision here, and tying in all these applications and third parties, is let's create a single workflow solution that's not just a pure ad tech platform, but now it's actually an online marketing platform, right? And finally, education. Our focus is not just to build tools to give you the facility to advertise, but teach you how to advertise well. And if we do that, your campaigns are going to perform better, the whole ad ecosystem is going to be a little bit better, and that's really important to us. So we have a couple announcements to make today. Today, our platform API is now available, and so we're open for applications. So if you go to adstage.io/developers, you can sign up, tell us a little bit about the application you want to integrate into AdStage or build on top of the AdStage API, and we're happy to speak with you. We've also integrated our first third-party apps that you saw, so Word Tracker, Unbounce, and Optimizely. If you come to our booth, we'll show you how it works. We're going to continue to build first-party apps like the Ad Scrambler every 2 to 3 weeks into the platform. And we're very excited to announce on stage here that we actually just raised another $1 million of funding just 2 weeks ago from the guys at Digital Garage. They also did Twitter, Path, and even Brian's company. Brian's coming on stage next. He is. And in total, we've raised about $2.5 million. And we're always on the lookout for amazing partners who want to join our rounds to help us scale the business. So we couldn't have done all this without our team. We're a team of 11 based here in San Francisco. We're 8 engineers, and we're hoping to double the team by the end of the year. And basically, if you come to our booth today, we'll skip you in front of the line. So our beta line is kind of long right now. We're getting folks in at a reasonable rate. But if you come drop us your card, we'll jump you in front of everybody else, and you guys can try out the platform in the next few days. So open to questions. Thank you.
I have a question. Tell us some of the things that, some of the surprising stuff that you guys have been finding as you've been working on campaigns over, the last 12 months since Launch Festival. Like, what are some of the underrated, maybe expensive or maybe inexpensive advertising platforms? Like, we all know about Google AdWords. Like, where should we be focusing our ad spend that we're not?
Yeah, it's a good question. So actually, believe it or not, Of that $500,000 active daily budget, a large majority of that comes from LinkedIn. So a lot of people have written off LinkedIn as kind of this, really expensive B2B network. It has a minimum of, like a $2 CPC, right? So it's super expensive. But for B2B businesses, it actually performs pretty well. But not only that, actually a company that some of you guys might know, JackThreads. So JackThreads, which is a B2C company, is performing very well on LinkedIn today too. And a lot of schools. So if you're in education, you can target by job title, by education level, by income level. There's a lot of really powerful targeting to be had on LinkedIn. So that's certainly one of the kind of more underappreciated networks, along with Bing. So a lot of people also write off Bing, and they kind of neglect it as the stepchild, or bastard child, I guess, whatever. Sorry, I apologize, but it's really neglected. People set up the campaign, and then they don't actually do anything with it. But the problem is that, look, there's not as much competition, so you should take advantage of it. It's a greenfield, so why not?
Tell us a little bit more about your roadmap. Where are you guys going in the next?
A roadmap?
Yeah, in the next like 3-4 years, you've been building this product like crazy, super fast since launch last year. What I see that you're getting ready with APIs and you're raising funding. Like, where is AdStage going to be in the next 3 years?
Yeah. So, over the last year, what I would consider ourselves is kind of your typical Silicon Valley product company. You have a lot of engineers, and that's about it, and you can build a lot of product really quickly. But in order to build a true business, you need everybody. You need the business guys, you need the sales guys, you need the account managers. So we're starting to expand and try to become a real business. I don't even consider ourselves necessarily a true business yet until we start making a lot of money, right? So the idea is to actually become a true business in the next few months. We're raising additional capital to grow the team. As we mentioned, that we want to double the team at least by the end of the year. So I think that's kind of our core focus, and starting to work with all these other partners to bring new functionality into the platform. That's kind of the big three things.
Are you looking to do further fundraising?
We're always having conversations. I think a good company is always raising, and so it's important to have those conversations. And when you opportunistically come by a good partner, a good investor, you should explore working with them. The mic actually might help.
What's your stack?
Our stack?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. So we try to be a little bit more progressive than your typical ad tech company. Some of them are still built in Flash, which you probably know about. But our front end is built in Ember.js. So we're really focused on the front end. Our back end, our database is built in Cassandra. And then we use various things. We also use some Postgres. We have some stuff on Heroku. We have some stuff on EC2. Our Cassandra nodes are on EC2. And we use, for our machine learning, for our clustering algorithms, we use Java. So we've used some things, and of course, our API is built in Rails. So we've used technologies that, you can use a bunch of technologies to get this stuff done, but technologies that are favorable to our team and also attract really good developers. So that's the other piece, is trying to hire and trying to attract good developers to an advertising technology company is not trivial. And so using good technologies allows us to do that. Yeah, sure. Cool. Thank you.